Fox Sports 910, Benjamin Garcia doing the filling in duties today on The Drive. Jody Ayler out. Bullpen game today, but an electric one at that. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia Show. We are really starting to cook with gas now. Listen, you get the late notice that you're going to fill in this morning. You're scrambling, coming up with topics as there's a million things to talk about. You're just trying to dissect, what do people want to hear? What are we going for? And this is a story that I can't believe it's out there. I can't believe it's out there. Tua Tagovailoa recently was talking about Brian Flores. And someone would ask you, it was on the Dead Libertard show. Basically it said, hey, Tua, what was the Brian Flores experience like? And he was like, imagine someone telling you you sucked every single day. That's what it was like. Try competing with someone's telling you that. This is why I am so out on the Tua Tagovailoa business. And good bleeping luck to the Miami Dolphins, who just handed that guy $50 million a year. It's nonsense. It's nonsense. Who in their life hasn't been knocked down a peg or two in whatever they want to do? Construction, selling insurance, or what I do. I remember distinctly in college, I had this teacher in front of everyone on the first, I think it was like the second, third day of class, in front of everyone, told me straight to my face, you will never make it in this industry. Never. And I was embarrassed. I was like, what are you talking about? His words were, this is interesting. I don't think anyone would think this. You're just too nice. Like, okay. All right. That only motivated me. I think about that every single day. I believe that the most successful people in life are the people that are running scared. I heard this the other day. I can't remember exactly where I heard it from, but it's pretty hard to remember every single win in your life, whatever that looks like. It's really easy to remember the losses. I can tell you about that experience clear as day when a teacher told me that in college. Told me I had no chance to succeed in this field. Maybe he's right. It's not going to stop me. I will do everything I can to succeed in this in some way, shape, or form. And that just motivated me. At that point, I had really kicked it into high gear. Internships, shows, whatever it is I could do to get my foot in the door, I did. And I've always said to everyone, I don't think there's anyone that's going to outwork me. There might be people more talented, but I will work tooth and nail. When someone had told me that, a certain teacher, certain professor, it didn't shake my confidence. It didn't shake my belief on what I believe I do well. Even Tom Brady said it, hearing about this. He's like, if coach was coaching me hard, I just take it as motivation. I want to be coached hard. If your quarterback has to be babied because he's so soft, because he can't take any criticism, to what this is the NFL. You are the 1% of the 1%. You are getting paid, even at that point, more than anyone else I'll ever know. Rookie quarterback contracts are not exactly minimum wage at McDonald's. This is why I'll always be out on Tua. When he throws an interception, is he pouting on the sidelines, or is it next play like it should be? It's a problem with Kyler Murray for so long. Cliff Kingsbury was too busy coddling him. Quarterbacks should not be coddled in the NFL. They should never be coddled. Ever. Sink or swim, man. Sink or swim. You want to be a $50 million man? You want to be a $60 million man? As harsh as I am, I guess I shouldn't say that. As honest as I am about Brock Purdy. Last pick in the draft, everyone overlooked him. Every single person. He's this close to being an undrafted free agent. This close to being an undrafted free agent. Brock Purdy turned something into nothing. Everyone told him he wasn't good enough. It wasn't just one coach. Everyone, including the 49ers, who at minimum, a few times around said, we'd rather have someone else. He had to earn his spot. If you're a quarterback and you're not mentally tough enough to take a few blows from a head coach, whether he's a good head coach or not, which, by the way, Brian Flores had a very capable team in Miami as the head coach. That's a you issue, man. And airing your dirty laundry out there is crazy. And Mike McDaniel knew this, and he had to have signed off on this extension that he just signed. I mean, I can't believe it. I can't believe after what he showed on the Dan Le Batard show, trying to throw a coach under the bus, Mike McDaniel and the GM of the Miami Dolphins are like, yeah, this is the guy we want to go to war with. The second it's below 70 degrees and throws an interception, turtle shells. I personally couldn't care less. I don't care what Brian Flores is saying to him. Obviously, there's a line that you're not supposed to cross, but I highly doubt he did that. It's crazy to me. It is nuts to me that the Miami Dolphins knew this and still signed this guy to a massive extension in which I was on the fence of, is that going to work? Now I know it's not going to work. Because the second that contract kicks in, and you can't pay everyone, Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, the same situation Brock Purdy is in. Only here's the difference. I don't think Brock Purdy's going to cripple because he's not mentally tough enough to take it. I think Brock Purdy's going to take a step back because he's mostly elevated by what's going on in the San Francisco 49ers regime. Kyle Shanahan, you know the story. A lot of good players on that team. I'm not going to rehash it. But the Tua Tagovailoa thing, you're going to crumble because not only do I think you're maybe as talented as Brock Purdy, but you're not mentally tough. And there's going to be a lot of weeks where you got to be mentally tough. And you know who wasn't mentally tough for a long time and was close to flaming out in the NFL if he still had the same mentality? Is Kyler Murray. And it takes me back as well to the same thing I'm worried about with Caleb Williams. Is Caleb Williams mentally tough enough to take it in the NFL? Aaron Rodgers at times. One of the most talented players in NFL history. Some would argue the most talented player in NFL history. We argue, is he mentally tough? Can he take it? Can he take criticism? He's only friends with everyone that gasses him up. Doesn't like criticism. Does not like the media. Very outspoken. This Tua Tagovailoa thing, it has really showed Tua's true colors. Remember Ryan Clark, I think it was last year, made a sly joke about Tua Tagovailoa and I believe his workout history. It was not anything major. And Tua Tagovailoa basically challenged the guy to a fight. Like, what are we doing? You're upset with things analysts say. You're upset with things Brian Flores says. You cannot be sensitive as a quarterback in the NFL who is not as talented as the elite talent in the NFL. I love Kyler Murray. I believe he can be a top talent in the NFL. Clearly had to mature to be able to take this next step that we all believe he's going to take. Aaron Rodgers, we all believe, I mentioned this earlier in the show, probably should have more than one championship, more than one Super Bowl. It's Tua thing. It's crazy. And I cannot believe the Miami Dolphins, who knew this personality of Tua Tagovailoa, who knew who the guy was, who had him in the locker room every single day, and said, that is the guy I want to go to war with. That's the guy. The emotional, sensitive quarterback who can't take criticism from the media. Everyone that I know, my wife, my friends, everyone has been told in their life, you suck. And we all had to dust ourselves off and go to work and prove everyone else wrong. That's not what Tua did. He needed a whole different boss, a very chill boss at that, to come in, pat him on the back, tell him everything's going to be okay. And that was how he needed to succeed. And now it really explains why that in any element that isn't 75 and sunny, in any condition that isn't perfect, even emotionally and physically, Tua crumbles. That is not the guy I want to go to war with on the field. And that is not a guy that I believe in as a quarterback in the NFL. Just crazy to me. That contract is going to be nonsense.